Now, West Ham lost 1-0 away in Freiburg last night in the Europa League last 16 match. In the 90th minute, VAR decided not to give the Hammers a penalty for a handball. And boss David Moyes was very frustrated by the decision.
I think it's a penalty kick, and I'll give you my reasons for it, because I don't want you to think that it's in any way me just having a biased thought. I think nowadays, if you have two hands above your head now, I think they would be in an unnatural position. And if you think the reason for his hands being there was because it was a free kick, well, if it was a free kick, the referee never restarted the game with a free kick. If it was because the player kicked it onto his own arms, then technically he made a really poor clearance then, which kicked it onto his arm. So for all those 3 points, I can't see why the referee didn't choose to give a penalty kick.
We need people to phone up and tell us what... I mean, don't read it from the website. We need you to explain it. What actually constitutes a handball? 0371 722 334. You and I have both watched it.
I didn't think it was a penalty. But also, sorry, did you see the Rangers one?
No, I haven't gone.
How they give that for a penalty?
Oh, I know. I have seen it. I have seen it.
His arm was about
ridiculous.
Half an inch from his face.
Yeah.
And they give that.
But this is the problem I've got with it, right? So the Rangers penalty, it going by the letter of the law, that should be a penalty, right? I know the arm in an unnatural position and the silhouette and all that sort of stuff, but I can understand why. But if you're giving that Rangers penalty, you have to give last night's West Ham one.
Exactly. But when you look at the Rangers one, for me, in no shape or form is that a penalty, because when you go to hit the ball, your arm naturally comes up.
I know, but
and it's like you're asking people to jump and
without using their arms.
Without using their arms, which is unnatural. But again, I can understand why the West Ham one, they're angry, but I'm
I'm
glad that it wasn't given, but I don't want to start seeing penalties given for this, or not given. That the right decision not to give it, because
no, but it's not the right decision not to give it when I've seen that being given so many times before.
That's the problem. The letter of the law is so skewed because you get the Rangers one where they give it, which I didn't think was any stretch of the imagination.
I've seen them given. That's the thing.
No, but how?
Oh, you have.
The geezer headed it onto his arm for an inch away.
I know, but you've seen it. Because it's outside of his body, right? If it's there in front of his, you obviously can't see it. If it's in front of his face, then it's the silhouette of his face. But because it's next to it.
But again, this is why you need ex-players or managers or in the VAR room, because a defender would have said to you in that position, well, listen, when you jump, your arm naturally goes. Some of the league players will tell you that. As a defender, you jump up to head the ball, your arms naturally come up.
Well, I always remember as a kid watching football, the handball rule was always, is it ball to hand or hand to ball?
Exactly.
But, I mean, it was really quite easy to explain that.
Yeah.
And it was if your hand has gone towards the ball, to knock it, to punch or a penalty. If the ball comes towards your hand, you can't get out of the way, like the Rangers one, and also like the West Ham one as well, it's not a penalty.
The only time I'd say potentially it could be a penalty is, say I'm standing on the goal line and you welly it as hard as you can from a yard and I save it with my arm, even though it's by accident, it's probably a penalty because I've saved it with my arm. I'm not a goalkeeper.
Well, again, but going back to the old rule, if it was ball to hand, then it's not a penalty.
Yeah, but if I'm on the line, I'm stopping the goal scoring situation. So if a penalty's given for that, I'd go fair enough. But all this...
I disagree with that.
With all this unnatural position where I go to jump and my arm's already up there and the ball... That's just so stupid.
Yeah, okay. Can you explain it? And also, West Ham fans, you can phone up and talk about it as well. Lots coming up in today's show. Richard Riakporth will be joining us later on, so I'm so excited about that. It'll be great. I'm so excited about this fight tonight. You actually forgot about it when you came into the meeting we were talking about. You went, forgot it's tonight?
Yeah.
And Zhang's taking on Parker.
That's the one I can't wait to see.
Yeah, if you're wondering what type of times they're on, I think the Parker one's about 10 and AJ's about 11. Have you heard that? I asked Adam Cattrall earlier on. He said around about that. Okay.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.